Yes, we are live. Good evening and welcome back to Hammers Fans United and welcome back to the Player Rating Show. And this is a special edition because it's not just me and Davey. We've got Kieran, Harry Geezer in the house, and we've got a very, very, very special guest in Stuart representing the disabled team. If you haven't already subscribed to his channel, I've put a subscribe button next to his name just to, encourage you to subscribe. Obviously, Stuart is here because we played Leeds and it gives us the opportunity to have a cross referenced player ratings. Stuart will be doing Leeds players and me, Davey and Kieran. No, I don't do them anyway. So Davey and Kieran will be doing the West Ham ones. We may well have a few Leeds people in the chat, and then you lot give your ratings for Leeds players and the West Ham ones. Obviously, they know what to do. Let's let Davey say a few words. Then we go to our mascot, and then we'll go to our special guest. Davey, what's going on, my friend?
Yeah, how you doing? All yes, good game today. Good result at least. To be fair, you know what I mean. Having watched the game, we're pretty fortunate with the 2-0. I thought because Leeds could have scored at least a goal, if not more than one. So yeah, but quite happy that we got the 2-0, and even happier that we got that draw.
Yeah. Geezer, thoughts?
Yeah, mate. It was job done, really, wasn't it? It was. I sort of expected that sort of game. I knew Leeds were pretty decimated with injuries. I didn't really expect them to be that much of a worry up front. I thought we made it a little bit harder than it could have been. We weren't at our best, but I think they've just done enough to win the game.
Yep. Yeah. And special guest, our brother, Stuart. What's your thoughts on, after the full-time whistle went?
Well, the best team won. The right team won on day as well, I think. I just think West Ham just had that bit too much for us, if I'm honest. We were lacking firepower up front. But yeah, even with a full side, it would have been difficult against West Ham. But with a decimated side, it were all but impossible.
Yeah. I said it on the disabled team straight after the game. I feel that Leeds gave a good account of themselves, considering the squad that they could put out, considering they was away from home, and considering they haven't had the best of seasons. I think there was no shame in that performance, and a lot of Leeds fans kind of didn't really want to be in it because they need to focus on the league. So I think it was for them. It was it wasn't a bad day overall, unless you're TN5. Is it TN5?
TD5.
TD5, sorry, not TN5. Right, David, you want to get to the comments and then we'll get into it. Let us know who's in the house.
Okay, Gaza, I think you dropped the first comment.
Big up, Gaza, always.
How you doing, Gaza? Consider you had some players out, Keith. I thought you played okay, but there was nothing up top for you. Yeah, no punch really, is it? Well, no knockout punch rather. So yeah, they did create a few chances, Leeds, to be fair, and yeah, the finish was a bit woeful, to say the least. And Gaz also says credit to the Leeds fans as well.
Yeah, I heard them constantly.
Yeah. Well, we know Leeds; they're a massive club, aren't they? So they're gonna bring big support. So yeah, credit to them. I agree, Gaza. Vlasic, that's a good topic actually, because going into the game, Moy said he was in good form. And he played really well, yeah. Played well today.
He did.
And Lanzini. So both of them, were instrumental in that win, I think. You could say Vlasic set up the first, Lanzini for Lanzini. And yeah. So 2 good performances by both of them. We'll get to the ratings, as you said, Martin, in a minute. We've got Nashi in the house.
Yes, Nashi. Yes, top score for West Ham. Hi guys, how you doing?
Yeah, Nashi said best team won. Sorry, I cut off that one quick, Mike. Yeah. Gaza again. Let me comment. How are you, Keith? That's just replying to Keith. Nashi, he said disappointed but happy for the Hammers. Yeah. Thanks, Nashi. Gaza.
Fair play.
Yeah, it's a long way for those fans. Yeah, I mean, he's got a little way to travel to come to the London Stadium. And you're saying our fans were pretty quiet. Nashi saying Leeds fans are loud today at the London Stadium.
Who else was watching?
We got Lawrence as well.
Oh, big up Lawrence
Hi everyone. Alabama in the house.
from Alabama, USA, Auburn. Yes, Lawrence. Who else is there? I can see Gaza, James Bong, AK. What are your thoughts on Traore? We'll get to that. How's it going? Thank you for joining. Titch. Yes, John Andrew. How you doing?
Yeah,
Thank
John
you for
Andrew.
joining.
I'll just try to go through the new ones, Mark. James Bong.
Yeah, James. How you doing?
How you doing, James? Is it okay?
AK, I think.
AK. And he actually asked, we can probably get onto this later in the, when we do the ratings. How's your thoughts on Diop today's performance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mixed bag. A mixed bag.
Gaza said, looks like.
Yeah, man, they're getting everybody. Fuck's sake.
That's
All
the
right,
ones.
so
New ones.
they're here.
Yeah.
All right, let me just remove that. Thank you for everyone that's joined, as always. We will get into the player ratings, but we'll start with the disabled team and their goalkeeper. So, Stuart, how do you feel Meslier done, and what would you rate him? And also, any other Leeds fans in the chat? I know Nashi's here. Then, yeah, your thoughts, and then we'll go to Dave and Kieran for Areola. So, how do you think the goalie done?
I thought he did all right. I thought he commanded his box pretty well. He came for everything, caught everything. All swinging corners you were putting in, he dealt with them pretty well. I don't think he went at fault much for goal. Pulled off a really good save from Jenna Bowen in second half.
Yep.
I give him a 7 out of 10.
7 for Meslier. So Nashi, if there's any other Leeds fans, but yeah, Nashi, you can put yours in for Meslier. But Davey, while he's doing that, what would you Areola's performance today? How would you sum that up?
Yeah, done all right, done really well. To be fair, I'm trying to remember if he had to make. I think maybe one save. I think I can remember him making. But generally, he done, what he had to do, he done really well. So I think, I think I've heard some disquiet about West Ham fans that he needs to be given maybe a little more chances, but I don't know. Fabianski hasn't really done much wrong, so it's a difficult one for Moyes. He has played him in Europe and in the Cups, but today he was fine, yeah. I gave him 7 out of 10.
7. I think I know what Harry Geezer's going to give him. Kieran, what are you saying? I got a feeling I know.
I think, like David said, he was really competent today. Came out, claimed the ball a couple of times. He really didn't have a save to make. That's worthy of a save. He had nothing to say. But his distribution was quick here and there. It was better. That's the only thing I think he surpasses Fabianski on at the moment. That he does look to get the ball out quick, wide, really quickly. Where Fabianski, when he claims the ball, he runs to the edge of the area and then stops. Then waits for everyone to get in position and then kicks it. I think that's the only criticism I can have of Fabianski. But like Dave said, you can't just throw Areola in because Fabianski's been fabulous, really.
Yeah,
but they're just two different types of keeper. That Areola's always looking to get on the front foot really quickly. So, yeah, for the lack of work he had to do for saves, I'd give him a 6.
I thought so. I knew you were going to give a 6. Yeah, because he didn't have much to do. So I did know that.
Yeah, not his fault. Everything he did do was good.
Our mascot gave him a 7. Davey gave him mascot gave him a 6. Davey gave him 7. Stuart gave Meslier a 7. I saw that Nashi gave Meslier a 7.5. What did he say? What was his comment? Oh, he just gave him. All right. What about the West Ham ones? 7.5 for Meslier. Areola.
Lawrence.
8 of Lawrence. Not much work.
James Bong.
7 for clean sheet.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of. I was saying this to Kieran earlier. He's had a lot of clean sheets in the games he had played for us. He's got a lot of clean sheets. Harry, a face of a goat. AK gave Areola a 7. Is there anyone else?
That's it. Gaza. Gaza.
Oh, yeah.
I think Gaza hasn't done us yet. If you're going to put a rating up for him, Gaza. Ariola.
Okay. We will move on to Leeds' right back. Number 2, I think he started off as captain, and that is Luke Ayling. So, Stuart, over to you.
It brought some experience and composure to that back four. We were missing some key defenders, just like West Ham are. He didn't quite get the chances to go forward like as he likes, but he did put 1 or 2 crosses into the box. He was crossing to basically no one there were no one there to cross it to. Yeah. So for that reason, I give him a 7.
He gets 7, yeah?
Yeah, I give him a 7.
Okay. All right. So we will move on to our right back, and that was Wally's favourite player, Ryan Fredericks, who he hasn't played in a long time. So yeah, Davey, Ryan Fredericks.
Ryan Fredericks. I thought he did okay today. We know sometimes he doesn't make the right decision, but I think his speed helps us. He got in some good positions, didn't he? There was one opportunity he had in the first half, if I remember, where he got in like a centre forward position, and he did get a shot on goal. But I didn't think he made good connection with the ball, and it ended up being a soft shot towards the keeper. But he done a lot, went forward, did quite a lot of good crosses in. I gave him a 7. I thought he did
7.
Okay today. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked decent. Geezer?
Yeah, I like Fredericks, and I think it gives you a bit of punch forward with his pace, doesn't he? He does get down there. And I think it's easy for midfielders having Fredericks on that right as well, because you can just put a ball into space, and he just goes on a whippet to get to it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a handy thing to have when you're midfielder, because your passes don't have to be that good.
Exactly. It's true.
Somewhere in that space.
Yep.
So, yeah, and I thought he done well. I thought there was a couple of wasteful crosses. I do think he should have, when he took that shot in the second half that just went past the post, I think he should have cut that back. Rice was standing there on his own. He should have cut that back. I'd like to have seen him do that, because I think that's the only thing let him down. But I think he's worthy of a 7. I mean, this a guy that hasn't played as well. You remember, he's hardly played any football. I thought he done pretty well.
Okay. So all 3 of you gave the right backs for, both teams a 7. So, Davey, what's the comments saying for Ayling? I'm sure Nashi would comment. And,
Nashi,
the West.
I should put it up. Nashi gave him a 6. Ayling for his crossing. He said he made a few good crosses. I quite like him, actually, Ayling. He does really well for Leeds, and we know they're a bit under strength at the moment, but they're still performing, aren't they? They're still performing to the best of their ability. So, I thought
he won off the line as well, Davey, didn't he?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So, in regards to West Ham, was this for his Lawrence?
This is for Fredericks.
Fredericks. Yeah, solid match, but could have had a goal and assist. Yeah, he could have. Yeah, I think that there was some time with Fredericks, it's almost like he runs so far, he's got so much speed that he needs a little bit more speed of thought, almost, rather than just physicality in regards to athleticism. But yeah, he got in some good positions. Yeah, just if he had a little bit more quality, maybe he would have got a couple more shots on goal. James Bond, we got gave Freddie a 7. Fredericks. Nashi says. So Kieran's fine.
I haven't got your bald head though, Nashi.
Nashi's got the egghead. Is that it, Davey? Is that all the comments?
Yeah, that's it from the comments. Yeah.
All right. Okay. You can always catch up, people, if anybody joins and all of that. We know that. Right. Stuart. We will move on here they've got him as the right centre back, and that is Diego Llorente.
I thought he had he were in a bit of a tussle with Antonio first half. I think they were both what's the word I'm looking for? They were both tussling and toying with each other.
Yeah.
Antonio got the better of Llorente, if I'm honest. I give Llorente a 6.5.
Is Llorente is he a regular start? If you got a fully fit squad, he is. Yeah. I've heard of him, but I didn't know. So he is a regular.
Yeah.
Okay. So you give him a 6.5.
I give him a 6.5. Yeah.
All right. So we'll move on to ours, and we'll go with Davey Dawson.
Another steady game. We know his distribution sometimes is not the best. He's not the best player. Though today he was fine in distribution most of the time. I think it was just a chance where, was it James? Yeah, where he let the ball go through his legs in the second half and it sort of hit James. He didn't expect it. Yeah, that he sort of gave away a chance. But, on another day would have probably ended up in the back of the net. But generally, I've always said that his strength is defending. I think, now that we've lost Bonner and
Zuma.
Sorry, what's his name?
Zuma.
Sorry, yeah. He's our best defender by far. I think he almost gets the other two centre back in place and helps him along. So I'll give him a 7, Dawson. I gave him a 7.
Okay. Giza?
Yeah, again, I think like Davey, pretty solid. Didn't do a lot wrong. I'll say that chance he sort of missed and went to James. It went that quick, it just hit James. He couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But I think he was pretty solid, man. I think he did what he had to do. I think, like you said, with the distribution, Davey, I think because of Areola was taking that on more and more, Dawson had less to do with it. So it sort of took the pressure off him a bit, So he had less, instead of just giving it to Dawson with time to ping balls. He was getting it out wide quicker, and so that took the pressure off Dawson a little bit. And he was a solid 7 for me too. Yeah.
Okay.
If I could quickly say, Martin, sorry, Tim, if I could quickly say, is that I've noticed that in the last few games where I've watched Dawson in possession, Rice gets close. If you notice, he gets close to him, and he tends to take the ball more so than he does off Diop. So he passes into Rice, and then he plays out from there. So
they must have worked on that or encouraged that. What about comments, Davey? What is people saying? Because okay, Nashi Llorente a 6.
Lawrence
7.83 for Dawson.
James
7.
Dawson's a 7. He agrees with us and myself. Dawson 7. A 17-year-old forward was never going to trouble him.
That's from Luke. We got Luke.
And that's all comments.
That's all of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Oh my days. How do you say this guy's name? Right. Stuart, we will move on to 1 minute. I had his name and now it's loading. Let me try and pronounce this. This thing's just acting silly now. Oh, is that his name? Okay, Leo Furhaji. Okay, Leo Furhaji. He's only 18. Was that his debut or he played already for you?
No, that was his that was his debut.
Wow.
Now, right. I don't know if you get it at West Ham, but we get it all the time. Oh, chuck in the 23s, give the 23s a go. They're good enough.
Yeah, from somebody.
Give the 23s a go.
Weird, that lot.
And unfortunately, Leo Hadji isn't. He's not developed enough. It was. I mean, I remember seeing him. He was trying to mark Antonio, and honestly, his thigh were wider than Hadji. Honestly, it was a 19-year-old boy against a fully grown man.
18. He's 18.
18-year-old. Sorry, 18-year-old. So imagine and for his first game, and he had to match someone like Antonio. And I don't think he could have had a more difficult debut, if I'm honest, in a way as well. But look, if you want me to be really honest with you, he got rolled a few times. He let Vlasic get by as well for that goal. Before the opening goal, he let Vlasic get past him.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be harsh here, but I've given him a 6.5.
6.5.
I'm not being harsh, am I? Look at that.
See,
No,
Yeah,
what
she
we
gave him-
Nash.
Nash gave him 4.
I think that's a bit harsh.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
harsh for a young kid. Yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean,
mate.
yeah, if you thought he didn't play that well, then there you go.
You know, once they step into that adult football, they got to be judged, you know, accordingly. So yeah, if you don't feel, you know, especially as a lot of them will think that they're ready. So sometimes now they need to get a reality check. I give it 2. Oh, he's Norwegian as well. I've just seen that. All right, so
He's a
Davey.
Viking. He should be stronger. He's a Viking.
Exactly, a warrior. Okay.
Kimmy,
Oh, hi,
you know how-
Kimmy.
Hi, Kim.
Hello.
How you doing, Kimmy?
Mate,
Davey, but
Yes, mate.
Diop
Diop.
for us. Yeah.
Yeah, he did okay today. You know, I do like Diop, although I think his problem is he tends to switch off sometimes in games, but and he's been at West Ham long enough, should have enough experience now playing first team football to can put in more consistent performances. Today he done really well. I mean, I gave him a 7. I didn't think he did too much wrong, although, like we've suggested the Leeds fans, that he was playing up against sort of an inferior forward line, if you like. So yeah, but he did what he had to do, and yeah, we kept a clean sheet, so I gave him a 7.
Giza, it was his birthday today as well. So happy birthday, Issa Diop. You're never going to hear this, but happy birthday. It's his birthday today.
yeah, I think it was a mixed bag with him. 'Cause I'm not sure, right, if he was poor in the first half or it was just me being nervous for him. And oh, no, Diop's going to do something. So I thought he was a bit flappy in the first half, but I thought he was pretty good in the second. Really made up for the second. Him and Dawson were, I thought they're pretty solid in that second half, and they was under a bit more pressure then as well.
Yeah,
Had a bit more to do. So he sort of, for me, had a sort of like a 5 first half and probably a 7.5 in the second half. So I'm not sure. Dawson was pretty solid all the way, so I won't give him the same as Dawson. So I'll go 6.5 for Diop.
Diop.
He was
fair enough.
decent.
Okay, 6.5. Davey, what are they saying in the comment? I know Nashi's give a 4 for Hadji. What about the West Ham? Oh, Lawrence. Diop was poor. 4.9.
Yeah, that's a low one, Lawrence. But I mean, yeah, do you think he was poor? I think his biggest problem is concentration. You know, kids seem to struggle with concentration.
But David, do you think Diop's like another Masuaku? People only want to remember the poor things he does and not the good things. I find that a lot with Masuaku.
I think, yeah, but I think in general people do just tend to remember the bad things. So you could be correct in that. But I think because of the position he plays, obviously, you know, the only other position is the goalie, where if you make a mistake, it is a goal. You've got to be more consistent in that position. And I think how long has he been at West Ham now? 3 seasons, 4? You know, so yeah, he should be. I mean, he came in and the first season was electric, wasn't it? Yeah. He was so good.
He should be up to speed by now.
Yeah. So, and I think that potential is still within the player. So I think I don't know if it's because he's considered second string behind Bono and Zuma. So I don't know if it's a confident thing with him. Probably.
No, but I always notice, when people start rating Diop or Masuaku, even though he could have a cracking second half and that, they just remembered a couple of mistakes he made in the first half and not sort of weigh it up. And I think, they both get sort of unfair criticism, even though, like you said, Diop deserves some criticism here and there because he should be up to speed by now. I just think people have this confirmation bias when they don't rate them. They want to look at the negatives.
Yeah, I understand that.
I had to remove the thing because it was blocking Stuart. When the comments pop out, it's the white line's going through Stuart. So we just leave it like this.
I don't mind that at all.
He loved it. He was hiding behind it. Oh, Lawrence, that's low. 4.9. Says Keith, who gave Hadji a 4.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Lawrence said he was
jealous.
awful in the first half. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is what I was saying, Lawrence, about he needs to be more consistent in his performance.
This would be a good one. All right, so we will move on to the left back of Leeds, and that was somebody that West Ham showed an interest in, and that was Junior Firpo. Yes, Scouse Hammer's in the house. Stuart, what are you saying about Firpo?
I want to mark him as well, Stu.
Yeah, you can do something.
Honestly, I'll tell you now. It's supposed to be. I'm even setting up for this one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm going to say.
It's supposed to be the Barcelona superstar, and we're going to do really, really well. Everyone's either who's trained kids or played football.
Yeah.
The one thing you do not allow. I mean, we were learning the kids at under 90. When you lose the ball, you don't throw your hands up in air and think, I've lost ball. You run back and get it back. Or you at least attempt to turn around and run back. He don't do it. I don't know if he thinks he's too good for the Leeds, or if he thinks he's actually better than what he actually is. He's a sort of player where we should be able to rely on him. You know, being a player with experience. I've been really harsh on him. Well, not harsh, no. Actually, I think I've been generous on him. He just, I just don't see why we bought him. I don't see what he does, what he brings to the team, apart from either grabbing somebody, picking up suspensions, or picking up yellow cards. I give him a 5, and that's been generous.
All right, Nashi's already done it. He says a 4 for Firpo. Before we move on to Dave and Kieran, be honest with me, Stuart. Yeah, would you swap Firpo for Masuaku? I want to see how much you don't rate him.
Yes, I would.
I'd have Masuaku over him any day.
Yeah, I'd have Masuaku over Firpo.
Firpo was rubbish. Firpo rubbish. Right, Davey, on to our left back, which was Ben Johnson. Obviously, he's a right back, but he played left back today. What was your thoughts on Ben Johnson?
He did good. I like Johnson. I like he's come in at a fairly young age. I think his first couple of games, it took a little while to settle in, and then after that, he's been putting in really good performances, and he's sort of answering a lot of questions and putting pressure on Soufal and the rest of the defense. To say, well, I want a starting place. I want to play in this team, which is what you want as a manager. That's something that you would want. You'd want the player to come in and say, let's put performance in and give me the headache of saying, well, who do I select? And when you consider he's so versatile as well, we've seen him play left back, right back, in the back three.
Midfield.
Got a lot of versatility about him. And yeah, he can assist, he can score, as we've seen. So yeah, he did well again today. Played on the left side, got a lot of crosses in on his left foot. 2-footed player. I gave him a 7 out of 10 now. I thought it was a really good performance.
Okay. Once Kieran gives his, we'll get to the comments because there's obviously people have joined, and then we'll get back to the rating. So yeah, Kieran Johnson.
Yeah, mate, I was really impressed today. I think that's a young lad that's grabbed his chance, isn't it?
1 sec.
Yeah.
And I think you know what Moyes is like. He doesn't throw in youngsters, mate. He just doesn't unless he thinks they're ready, or at least got a chance or what to improve. How many times he's had youngsters on the bench for the last season? I've hardly seen one of them. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it lightly. And for Johnson to impress him that much, to play right back, to play left back in big games, it tells you where Moyes is with him. And I think he's grabbed his chance. I think even when he had a couple of, dodgy starts in games where he's given the ball away a lot and all that, Moyes has stuck with him. And I think you see the confidence in the young lad. And I think he was superb today. I think he didn't do a great deal wrong, mate. He was a good player for today. Yeah, and I'm tempted to give him 7.5 because
7.5
because of his youth and because of the importance of an FA Cup third round tie, mate, against Leeds. This is no easy game, but I thought he was really good, and he seems to be getting better. And I can't, it's such an asset to have a boy that can play right and left back.
Exactly.
What an asset. Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 7.5. Right, we're going to get to the comment. I just want to see, Kimmy's joined. I think, look, I can see Budgie. Right, let me just quickly scroll through you lot. We won't put them all up. Hello, everyone. So, Kimmy, thank you for joining. I hope all is well. Lawrence, hello, Kimmy. Boom, deal was boom, boom, boom. Oh, we're still waiting on Ben Johnson's. Cams is in the house. Scouse Hammer. Cams met Budgie and Hammerette today at the game. Or we bumped into them. Happy Hammerette, thank you for joining. Cams, Andrew, piss poor. Frankie, big up Frankie. I hope you're well, my brother. And I hope Charlie's doing good, especially after that 2-0 victory. Who else we got? Luke, Furpo, hi. We'll just get to the bottom of the comments. Happy. James Bong, Furpo is the new Roque Jr. Do you agree with that, Stuart? Furpo is the new Roque Jr.
It's close. Very, very close.
Budgie says, Kieran, what you doing, man? I don't know.
Waking up, that's what I'm doing.
Big up Budgie in the house. Keith, Cams. Right. All right. So Nashi's rated Johnson. Thank you very much. And he said 8.5. And when I went on Disabled Team's channel, he was like, actually, I've changed my mind who we want. We want Johnson. Yeah, we was playing like who we want and who they can have. And he said, yeah, I want Johnson. So 7.3 for Ben. Solid match from Lawrence. James Bong says 7. True Geezer. Oh, he's agreeing with Kieran. 1 second. Kimmy says, hold on a minute. Titch, of course. Thank you for joining. I hope everything's good for you. Right, so we've caught up. Let's remove that. Back to our special guest. We will go with Koch. Yeah, Koch. Stuart.
Right. I'm a bit. Koch has just come back from a serious injury. He had an operation on his ankle in America not so long ago. So this is like his second game back.
Oh,
since he's had his operation. He was tipped to be the next German superstar. When we got him, everyone thought, he was going to be a German international. So far, and I don't know if it's because he's been injured or what, or if it's just because of how he is. He hasn't impressed me. He really hasn't impressed me. He let Happy Amaret's husband run off him a few times in Lanzini. He let Lanzini get away a few times. I just don't know. I just don't. It's the first game he played. He just followed everybody everywhere. He could come out of position, and he was doing roughly the same again. So I've given him a 5.5.
5.5 for what's his first name?
Robin
Koch.
Yeah.
Nashi's given him a 6.1. Okay, let's get on to West Ham, and we will start with, let's go Souček, Davey. Same position as Koch.
Yeah, Souček. I think generally the team played well today, and Souček, obviously a part of the team, done his role within the team. Didn't really get forward too much, but did what he had to do defensively, and set off was the base of a lot of our attacks. Him and what brain keeps going blank. Sorry,
Rice.
Rice. Oh yeah. So I gave him a 7 out of 10.
Before Kieran goes, this is a funny comment from John Andrew. He says, "Can't wait for the FA Cup 5th round draw." So obviously he's saying that we're definitely going to get past. He's chanting these Kidderminsters before they hatch.
You won't be getting Arsenal, will you?
Exactly.
They went out. It's been a good night for West Ham.
What happened?
They lost to Forest 1-0.
Forest played well as well. Watch the game.
10 out of 10 for everyone. 10 out of 10 for the
All right. Before Kieran goes, Lawrence gave Souček a 6. James Bond gave him a 7. Lawrence said he made some bad passes. Keith Nashi gave Souček a 6. So Kieran, what did you give Thomas Souček?
Yeah, I thought he was not exceptional, but not bad. I think he was solid. He was solid, and a lot of things started from him as well. I think Lanzini had more to do than them. I think that's why Souček was so deep. I think it's Lanzini that was trying to connect everything together and stopping Souček pushing forward. So he weren't as prominent up front as he normally is. And I think some of our crossing today was poor anyway, even if he wasn't. I doubt if he'd have got on the end of much. So I think he was good. I think he's a solid 7.
7. Okay. Right. John says, I want Peterborough versus West Ham. Happy Hammer, who went to the game, had a great day today with Smugs and Cams. Can't believe a bunch of... Yeah, so basically, Happy Hammer met up with Budgie to go to the game. Yeah, no, they didn't know Cams was going. I didn't even know he was going, actually. And then at the urinals, Budgie and Cams, as far as I am aware, they was brushing shoulders and then realised who each other was. So, yeah, great story.
Yeah, Budgie hangs out around them a lot. You know?
Around the urinals, yeah. Oh, dear, banter. Yeah. But, yeah, it must have been. And then I saw them partying afterwards as well, like loads of noise. And, yeah, it looked like a good... Good day out. Let me go to Leeds' other midfielder, which is, let me get his first name, Lewis Bates, 19-year-old.
Made his debut, ex-Chelsea loanee, Chelsea player, he refused the contract with Chelsea and chose to come to Leeds. I was excited about seeing him before first whistle blew. He got a couple of shots away. I mean, according to stats, he got more shots away in first half than next best player really. So I don't know. I was disappointed in him though. Maybe I'm harsh. Maybe I'm just being harsh. But if I'm judging him on the game, I was disappointed in him. But I did give him a 6. I don't think he was worst Leeds player on pitch, but he wasn't the best neither.
Yeah. And welcome, Chufla. I know your Leeds, so you can give your Leeds ratings. Chufla 86. Nashi gave David's done it. Nashi gave Bates 4.5. Yeah. Can't rate either. Frankie saying I only seen the highlights. Hey Nash, I'm good. How are you? All right, so we will go on to our
Was that Rice?
second midfielder, which was Declan Rice, Davey.
Declan Rice, yeah, I think he played well today. It's funny, we watched West Ham play without him when he was at the cup game when he wasn't playing, and we did very well without him. But he is a major cog within the team, and if you compare him to Souček, he's just got, in my opinion, he's got quite a few more strings to his bow than Souček, and he sort of almost sets the tempo of our play, doesn't he? Virtually everything goes through him. He can start it off. He can support it. He can get forward. He drives forward. He's got so much to his play, and he done well today, I thought. Wasn't exceptional, but did what he had to do, and gave him an 8. Just for
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Good job I'm sat in this wheelchair, honest to God.
Right, Kieran, I want you to rate Rice, but Stuart, you know the West Ham players just as well as we do, so you can also, because I think Kieran's maybe slightly different to Davies.
I was disappointed in Rice, and I mean, I don't know what he's doing, stepping up to take free kicks and blasting them over the bar. I just don't understand that. I think it's got a hint of arrogance about it. And I just can't understand. He's a right wing where you can get Lanzini or Bowen to whip one in, and he's taking it. I don't understand that. His shot from outside the box was absolutely wonderful. But, again, I don't think he had a particularly great game, but he still was good. If you know what I know, it don't make sense. But we expect so much of him. We expect 9s out of 10 every week from him because a lot of the times it is. And when he has a poor game, he's a 7.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty good.
Yep.
So, in parts, the drive forward that he had was good. It pushed us forward, gave us chances. I think that one we had cleared off the line was about him going down to the byline, just getting it, coming back and chipping one in. So things like that. It's hard to mark Rice. I just thought some of the things him taking free kicks I didn't agree with, and I thought his shooting was poor. But I still think he's a 6.5 to 7. I'll give him a 6.8.
6.8.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. From a slightly outside perspective, Stuart, and yeah, because I know. What did you think of Declan Rice today? Because I know you rate him, obviously, but what did you think of him today?
I'll be honest with you. I've never known any other player be able to get away with doing what he did with the fans still cheered him when he blasted it over bar. The fans were cheering it and clapping it. I thought, what are you watching? What are you cheering? Do you know what I mean? I know you worship him and everything, but you're cheering him for blasting ball over. It was into row, whatever row ZZ is or whatever it is. But honestly, I've never known a set of fans worship and cheer him even when he does something poor. I don't understand. I don't get it. I know. I know he's your God. I know. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I do, because if that was Masuaku taking that shot,
yeah, exactly. They would have roasted him. They killed him.
Yeah, and I don't think it's fair. I think he's supposed to be a £120 million player. Today, watching him, you'd say he's a 60 to 70 million pound player, because I saw him over run the ball, and it was his speed what made him get the ball back. I saw him blast balls over, take free kicks. He took that free kick from in second half.
4-0 instead. Yeah.
Yeah, it was daft. It was really daft. I didn't understand it. I'd give him a 6 out of 10 today. I'm
going to get to the comments, but I'm just... Yeah, sorry, carry on, Stuart, if you're still talking. My bad.
No, that's my max 6 out of 10 because I thought he was arrogant.
Yeah, I don't... sometimes I might just give my opinion. I just think that... And, I watched the game with Kieran, and I said, when that free kick came out, I said, look, if Fornals takes this, Diop or Souček's going to flick it on and score. And, the next person standing next to him was Rice. And then Rice stepped up and just blasted. Yeah, it just seemed like arrogance was the word that came to mind for me as well. And, yeah, I don't know if it is because he can do what he wants and the fans is, but, you have to be held accountable. And just like Kieran said, if that's certain other players, especially the ones, so basically, Leeds in the last 10 minutes came at us, right? When we got that free kick, it was probably 10 minutes to go. So he could have, put a dangerous ball in there, which Fornals would have done. He just blasted it over, and now you give the possession back to Leeds. I think key moments in the game, as a captain, you got to make the right choices. So, we give him all the praise, and it's always due. I just think today, because of the standards he set, he could have done better than he did overall. He could have led by a bit more of example, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one shot. I don't think you can hold him down to... If he had blasted it in the top corner, nobody would be saying anything. You don't know where the shot's going to go until you hit it. So I don't think you can hold him to a shot.
Then he took the free kicks. He took 2 free kicks.
Yeah, he took more. He took more off Bowen and Lanzini. He was just, I don't know if he was like, I'm the captain. I'm taking all these.
Yeah, I don't think, for me, Davey, it's not about where that free kick ended up. It's the fact he took it. He decided to take it. I just don't think it should be when you got Fornals or Bowen who can whip balls in.
We don't know. We don't know that it could be in training. He's popping them in the net.
It could be true, Davey. He's probably hitting top corners in training.
So, Highlight Creek was one of his better performances, but I don't think he was that bad.
Right, let's get to that. He still had a decent game, but by his standards, it wasn't his best game. Roy, thanks for joining. You only missed half the show. Big up my people. Love you all, Cams and Hammerette. That's from Budgie. Lawrence says 8.5 as always. My heart. That's for Declan Rice. Nashi 5 for Rice. He shots off target. Missed a few shots as Lawrence. Hi, my friend. Right, Lawrence can't believe that Rice got a 5. Average for Rice, but a 7. See, that's echoing almost what Kieran says. Hello, Nashi, mate. You okay? Let's just get through these and then we move on. Sound is happy. Roy's thumbs up. Big up, lads. Big up, Hammerhead. Let me just put it on the screen. Thank you for joining. As always, boom, Hammerhead. Lawrence says, do not start on Masuaku. When he came on, he passed more to Leeds than the Hammers. Nah, Masuaku's God. Hi, Nasty. Hi, Roy. Lawrence, Nashi. Yeah, Rice pissed me off. Right, so here we go. Rice pissed me off. This is Hammerhead. He got a 6 off of Hammerhead. Right, so we'll move on to Leeds' player name. We'll go Jack Harrison, Stuart.
He was worse one for me, honestly. Jack. I don't know. I don't know what it is with him. He frustrates the life out of me. He really does. He frustrates the life out of me. Whether it's because he's come from Man City, thinks he's better than what he actually is, or what, honest to God, he didn't bring nothing to game whatsoever. Nothing. Every time that boy can tackle himself. Honest, he can trip himself up. That boy. So he's worst player up for Leeds today. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Yeah, and we're going to go 3.5.
Boy.
Yeah, he was worst player on the pitch, honestly.
And he's one of the the more experienced ones as well.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah, he's been with us for 2 years now. 2.5 years.
Right. Max from Arsenal TV has joined us. Thank you. And he says, has Davido got a house inside the London Stadium? Davido, have you got a house inside the London Stadium? Looks like
got
it.
a little penthouse flat up here, mate.
Kira's having a look like, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, what you got behind you there, Dave? You got football
London
pitch
Stadium. London Stadium, mate. Of course, yeah.
I
We're
couldn't
living
see it
large.
properly. I'll have to watch it later on my telly. See where he lives. See what corporate box he's in.
Early night, lads. Up tomorrow morning. Up again. Have some. Oh, see you later, Nashi. Nashi said bye, but he's got to go. Thanks for tuning in, Nashi. And listen, you lot. Keith Nash, LUFC Nashi. That's his channel name. He's got a newly formed YouTube channel. You know the deal. Go over there, subscribe, and show some support the same way he supports us. We're gonna get to. Oh no, sorry. Boom, boom, boom. Right, Davey is the man. Yes, he is. He's got his own little pad in the London Stadium. Right, so let's go to... All right, we'll go to our player that started on the same side as Harrison. We'll go to Jared Bowen, Davey.
Okay, Jared Bowen, he was exceptional. Over the last few... Today he played really well. Got a deserved goal. The killer goal, we got it on the break. But yeah, I gave him a 9 out of 10. He was my man of the match. And he's been consistently good, virtually all season. But definitely over the last 8 or 9 games, he's been really played really well, a high standard. And it definitely looks like he's gone up a level or two, hasn't it? So,
yep.
Yeah, really happy to see him performing like this. And long may it continue. Gave him a 9 out of 10.
And yeah, he definitely had another good game. Right, Giza, what are you saying for Jared Bowen?
Yeah, he keeps doing it every week, doesn't he? This work rate, it's just unbelievable. A lot of Duracell batteries in him. He's up and down. He's defending as well. He's getting back and he's helping out the right back. And yeah, I'm always happy to see him score a goal because he nearly had that first one. Only Ayling cleared it off the line. He beat the keeper and he pulled it off the line. He could have had one then. And the goal at the end was, I know Leeds were throwing the kitchen sink at us there, and obviously the break caught them. But everything about it was good. The 4 hours, the take, the pass out to Antonio, the pass into him, and he finished it well. And I think he had a good game again. I think he's on track to be Hammer of the Year. That's how consistent he's been. And I'd probably give him an 8.
8 out of 10. Right. Before we get to the comments, I'm going to ask you, like I said, Stuart knows a lot about the West Ham players and, he can give a fair rating. We won't do it for every player, but what would you give Bowen for today, Stuart?
I thought he was best player on pitch. I love him. I love watching him. And I don't think it's not just because he's going out with Danny Dyer either, but I do love watching him. I do. I think he's as important to West Ham as what Declan Rice is in role he plays, and I think I know Kieran's a bit harsh on scoring, top scoring, but I'd have to give him a 9.5. I think if he'd scored that goal while Ayling took clearance on, I probably would have made it a 10 for 2 goals. But I'm going to give him a 9.5.
9.5.
Yes,
Okay.
he put it through Meslier's legs, and not many players do that to Meslier. That second goal, he put him through his legs.
He did.
You know, and that was the nail in the coffin because Leeds
Yeah.
were putting on pressure. Right, right. Let me just get through the comments. He was to them, sure, a little slap. So that's for Noble. Noble gives Rice a little slap just to get him back in check. Davey is the man, says Lawrence. Lawrence gave Bowen a 9 and some fire. James Bong says, Davido, do we all get an invite to your box? Yeah, I'm waiting for the invite still as well.
Bring the drinks along.
I ain't even been invited. Hammerhead says, Jared Bowen, brilliant again. The boy special, I'm telling you now. 9.
Yeah.
James Bond gave him 8. And we have TD5 in the house. Thank you for joining. They are obviously Leeds, so you can, contribute with the next Leeds players that are
Pressure's
upcoming.
on now, isn't it? Pressure's on now. He's in that room.
Yeah, because he's going to be more harsh, I think.
I know
Okay, we'll go to, let me get his first name, Matthias Klitsch, if that's how you pronounce it.
Do you know when you think a player's run his course and he's reached that ceiling and he can't go any further? I think Matthias Klitsch is at it, I'm afraid. His passing seems to be off to what it was last season. He just hasn't been right since he had that injury last season. He hasn't been right all season, if I'm honest. If I'm really honest with you. I mean, I know why they played him because there's no one else to play, but he's not a first teamer anymore. He starts on bench now. So for that, what did I give him? What I wrote down for him? I didn't want to look at my papers. I give him a 6 out of 10 because of his effort he put in and his, he kept going and going and going. Which there's no final product with him. I'm afraid.
Right, Nash is gone, but TD5 says Klitsch 5. He was okay, couldn't do much when he had the ball. It was meh. Okay, probably a similar synopsis to what you just gave. Okay, 1 minute. TD5, he was so good in the championship and now it's sad to see him decline. Alright, so our version of Klitsch would be, according to this, would be Lanzini. So, Davido, in your penthouse, what you say?
He's been good, Martin. He got the first goal. I think he's got a bit more, Moyes got a bit more belief in him. He's playing him a bit more. And he's producing, isn't he? He's producing the goods. And I think what's helped him, I think Moyes has played him in a deeper role, as a deep line playmaker. And I think now he's dropping off, collecting the ball sometimes. Sometimes he's further up the pitch. And it helps his game because then he can get on the ball more. Because he is one of our players. He is one of the players we have that can open teams up. And he can assist, he can score. So, yeah, he's done a good performance. I gave him a 7.5, actually. So
7.5 for Mr. Hammerette. Giza, what are you saying for Manuel?
Yeah, mate. I think it's a renaissance, mate. And as Davey said, I think Moyes is playing in the best position for him to link the defensive midfield to the attack. That's him. He knits it all together. He's done it against Palace. He was brilliant. And I think he's done it again today. And I said most of the stuff he does don't get on highlight reel. It's just keeping the ball, using little passes, setting things up, backing up the forwards. And again, there he was today, backing up the forward to score a goal. I like the position he's playing in now. So yeah, I'm really enjoying him at the moment, and I just hope he keeps his consistency. He did start though. That first little bit, he did give a couple of bad passes away. It took about 15, 20 to settle into the game.
Yep.
So he's close to an 8, but not quite. About 7.8, something like that. Yeah.
7.8.
But still a good game, mate. I think he made. If Leeds could have seen that and stopped him, I think it would have been a tougher game for us.
All right, Stuart. With the remaining players, we'll hand it over to you as well. What would you rate Lanzini as an opposing player today?
Well, I think he glides across that pitch well. He could have. It's Leeds player deliberately tried to hack him down in first half, and he just ran past him. He glided past him, stayed on his feet, and kept going. Done well with goal. Done well with that as well. Got involved with that as well. He did well with that. I'd say 8 for Lanzini. A solid 8.
Is that what you said, Davey?
7.5, I said. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me go to... Okay, the comments is here. Right, Lawrence gave Lanzini a 9. Great showing. TD5, Lanzini is so underrated. James Bong gave Lanzini an 8. You can always catch up if anybody's watching.
Yeah, can I touch back on this again quickly?
Yeah.
Sorry. I agree with Kieran. I think that, I think if you play, we can either play, there's different ways I think we can play with the players we have. And I think if we play two, like most of the time he plays Solchik and Rice, who are two deep line, and their strengths are like winning the ball back. We know they can score from set plays, as in Solchik and stuff. But when he plays Lanzini, right, he dictates the play. So he can help us keep the ball a lot better and not just deeper, but up the pitch as well, and create for us as well. So I think that's a good option to have. And there's been talk of like if we've got a good offer, we should sell him. No way should we sell Lanzini unless we've got a replacement.
What did you say, Kieran? Sorry.
I'll just say, he's too important the way we're playing at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think we've been really good. In that little spell we had of, a little dip, you can see the amount of time we kept losing the ball in midfield and putting ourselves under pressure in these games all the time. Since that Lanzini sort of come in and he made his way in and got a little bit better, that's changed. We're not doing it as much. He's knitting things together. I think he's fantastic. If you had a player cam on him and on the Palace game and this, you'd really see what he does in a game. How he takes defence into attack and joins it all up. And I just thought, I think he's really important at the moment. Really important.
Yep. Okay, right. So Hammerhead says Manu the Jewel gets an 8.5 for me. Brilliant again. His wife Manuel's life said I'd give Lanzini a massive 1. I mean a 10.
Know what you'd give him.
Yeah. Hammerette, my lady. James Bong's laughing at her. Kimmy's laughing. Right. So we will move on to Leeds' according to this, their left-sided attacking midfielder, and that was Dan James. Look at Stuart here, he head in hands.
Fuck you. What's his name?
Dan James.
Oh dearie me! Doesn't get any better, does it? I'm so looking forward to this show and all. Dan James. I think Man United pulled his pants down and smacked us bottom. To be honest, I really do, because 26 million, were it, or something daft like that we paid for him?
Yeah.
Wow.
How much?
26 million.
Yeah, and they only paid 15 for him. Yeah.
Well, did you know something? It's so crazy because it got done. The deal got done from someone going to Bielsa saying, "Do you want him?" Bielsa said, "Yeah." So actually getting him through the door, it took less than 24 hours.
Oh my god!
That's how quick it was. So I think the sun was coming, man. I can't believe it. All he's got, I'd say all he's got is speed, but he can't even run it. He can't even run it ball. It's painful. No, it's painful.
Where'd you get him from? Was it Liverpool?
Man United.
And there's a point I've always made. I've said to you before, Titch. I always worry about buying one of these players from these big clubs. I always worry that they know that they're not good enough.
Yeah.
So they're offloading.
Oh yeah.
They very seldom give you a good player that can do a job, unless he's at the end of the career and they just want to offload him. But a young player like him, and he did show promise in the first few games for Man United. He looked good. And then they get rid of him? Really? Fuck.
They got rid of him the day after they signed Cristiano Ronaldo.
Was
and
it?
made a big profit.
Yeah.
Made a big profit on him as well. So remember, he had two seasons. So it's not like they could have sold him for 10 and still thought, you know what, we paid 15. He's been here 2, whatever. No, they got a big profit off Leeds. They got like 25, 26 mil, which is crazy, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy money.
I think
it's like a forward version of Fredericks. I think some of these players with a lot of speed, from what I have seen of them in the Premier League, they can't. They've got no football brain.
Yeah.
You know,
he can't take a football with him, never mind have a football brain. He can't even take ball. He hasn't got a football with him. Honest, I said that Jack Harrison was worst on pitch. He's close second. I'm going to give him 4.1.
4.1.
0.1. Yeah, 4.1 I'm going to give him. And that's generous. Get rid of him tomorrow, I would, honest. But no one would have him. That's the problem.
Not in the Premier League.
Leeds won't get rid of him now because they love him. They idolise him. The owners. And it's ever since we lost him at Man United when that Swansea deal collapsed. So it was their way of saying we're going to buy him back straight away. But went in blind, didn't they? Cabbages.
Dan James. Oh my God, if he could fucking finish. Right. I'm waiting for this. Max says, remember that Titch didn't want Lanzini or Bowen to start this one and ended up being the ones that scored. I didn't want, I said in hindsight when I went on, I went on the disabled team and I said, in hindsight, it's good that, it's lucky that Moyes played a strong team because it wasn't an easy game. But, I would have wanted to have, rested players because we played Norwich on Wednesday. Leeds don't play again until they play us on Saturday or Sunday next week. So, it would have been an opportunity to rest players. We get to our rating. Let me get through it. He gets in good position and loses the ball. Hammer at what centimetres or inches. We get to our player. I was confused when Leeds signed Dan James. I think they could have signed somebody of much more quality with that money. Yeah, for 26 mil, they could have done. Inches, James. My nan's turtle has more footballing knowledge than Dan James. Dan James 2.1. Right, Davido in your London Stadium penthouse. We will move on to someone who is, he started a few games now. He's found his feet, it seems, at West Ham, and that is Nicola Vlasic.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we sort of made a comparison to Fornells when he first came to West Ham in regards to Vlasic. He didn't start too well, needed a little time to settle, but we're now seeing the quality, and he's ridiculously strong, isn't he? I mean, the goal that we scored, although I thought he could have got a shot off rather than let the Leeds player get the block in, but he sort of used his strength to hold him off. He spun him, got the shot off, he got blocked, and then it ended up falling to Lanzini to put it in the net. But yeah, he's definitely gone up a notch or two and playing really well. I gave him a 8. Gave Vlasic a 8.
That's a good breakdown as well. Kieran, what are you saying for Vlasic?
Yeah, mate. Hello, mate. A magpie comes down. I thought he was the best performance he's had so far. He's gradually getting the minutes. He's gradually getting better. Really worried about him at first. He weren't showing much at all. But I think it's taken him this time, and Moyes does it. He does it with them all, doesn't he? He bloods them in, takes his time, and I thought that was his best performance. And I did like the tactic that West Ham were using, right? And this is where, people moan about Antonio being out the wing too much. He should be in the middle. Well, this is the tactic that Moyes uses. He gets Antonio to pull out wide, and then wrapping around him is Vlasic or Bowen, whatever side it is. All right, and that happened with that first goal because Antonio came out wide, he pinged the ball into Vlasic, and he spun the centre half. And the centre half, to me, was almost fouling him to stop him until it come off the keeper, and then Lanzini scored. But it's a good tactic we used, and his strength, I think, is good. He's a strong player. Be nice if he was a yard faster. That would really add to his game. But I think the best game he's had, he was probably almost up there with Bowen for the game. Not quite, but I think Bowen was a little bit better. But yeah, I think that was in the context of it as well. This boy's still trying to, he's only getting so many minutes, trying to get into each game. I think he's a solid 8. Solid
8. Right. I'm going to go to Stuart. I'm just going to get to the comments because I agree with what some of these people said, and Kieran can back me up because I did say it during the game. Right. First of all, Max says the mascot, which is you, Kieran, needs a stand for that camera. It won't stay up.
I got a message. It vibrated. It fell off. It is on a sort of stand. It's a stand that I made. So.
Yeah. Right. So Lawrence is 9.1 man of the match. I did say to Kieran, Vlasic is my man of the match. That may be because he's a bit of an underdog, and I know people have written him off, and I would say between him and Bowen, but I'm just looking at where he's started at West Ham and where he is now. I would give it to him, even if it was just for a confidence booster. So he would be my man of the match as well for today. He was crucial in that goal.
I think there's an argument for both of them in this game, mate, to be man of the match.
Yeah, and if he didn't get a toe on that ball, then Bowen would have got it and Bowen would have been offside. So the fact that he quickly on the floor got a foot on it, that count, at any chance of Bowen, playing offside, he nullified that. So he done very well for us to get the first goal. Max, 1 second. Vlasic is also James Bond's man of the match. 8.5, but I hate diving. And we'll get to Stuart in a minute. Antonio's the best winger we have. TD5. Stu's thoughts on Cody Drama going on loan to Cardiff for the rest of the season. And don't look too depressed. Arsenal lost to Nottingham Forest today. Right, so Stuart.
Yeah, no, we're happy with that, Max.
Yeah.
Really happy.
Oh, Max. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Go to Forest.
I forgot, Max. Sorry, Max. Right, Stuart, what was your thoughts and your rating for Nicola Vlasic?
Nicola Vlasic, I'm happy for him because he was getting so much stick from a lot of people beginning when he first come. The problem is with him is he can't help his price tag. He didn't put that price tag on his head. The club what offered what paid that sort of money for him. You need to run the games to build confidence, and he won't getting them. He won't getting them minutes. And I don't just mean 10 minutes here, then not playing for the next 2, and then you know what I mean. He needed that confidence, and he's getting better. I'd happily have him at Leeds. I would happily have him at Leeds. You can tell he plays for you. You can tell he wants to play for you. And that's all you can ask from a player. He's come from a different country again, and it's all right saying that he were here when he played for Everton. He were a kid, he were a boy when he played at Everton. It's totally different to now, and I'm happy for him. I really am, and I'd give him a 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Comfortable 8 out of 10. Yeah.
Max has just pointed out. I've just realised that this is the Glasses gang. Yeah, with the Hammer gang. With the Hammer gang.
Max must need glasses to watch Arsenal.
Yeah.
Binoculars, not just glasses.
Yeah. Or he needs some spirits in the glasses to drown his sorrows.
He needs dark glasses.
Yeah.
And answering TD5's question, if I may,
yes, you can.
If Cody Drama leaves Leeds on loan, he won't come back. He won't be back. Players who leave go out on loan at Leeds never come back. They never seem to come back. I'd rather him stay at Leeds. We need him. We can't afford him to go out on loan.
I think they've agreed a loan though, and I think that's why I asked the question. I think
it's rumoured, isn't it? I'm not sure if they've agreed it.
Okay.
Leeds can't let no one go with all the injuries, man. Like, I don't get that.
Think so, would you?
Nah.
Do you think, Stuart? Do you think it'll cause a drama?
I think it's all right. It's better than some senior players we've got.
That's crazy.
I will make a point of that today as well, Stuart. You fielded 2 debutants today, didn't you?
Yeah.
In an FA Cup third round at London Stadium, man. That's tough. You know what I mean? It's really tough for them boys and for the team. It really is. just shows you where they are with injuries and that to blood two young boys like that. But, you know, you're scraping the barrel. I wouldn't be letting anyone go on loan or selling anyone. I wouldn't be bringing them in.
Exactly. No way. That's crazy if they do. And, you know, I've heard of him, so he's obviously part of the first team now. So to let him go on loan, and Stuart already said this, you know, maybe a week ago that I was speaking to him. I don't know. He said, look, once Leeds let players go on loan, that's it for them. They generally just don't come back. So that lets you know that they're not, they've got no, you know, aspirations for these players. Okay, right. So we will move on to, I think this was a debutant, Sam Grima, who started up top for Leeds today, Stuart.
He won his debut. I think he made a substitute appearance in the cup last season. But it was his first debut, you know, his starting debut.
Yeah.
It was his starting debut. So I thought he did all right first half. He got some shots off, got some shots away. He slowly gained some confidence. He actually did take more shots than any other Leeds player in that first half. But unfortunately, he didn't cause any danger with them. They were all just straight either to keeper or out. You know what I mean? They were just out. It was just or over. You know, so I've given him and he only played 45 minutes. He only played first half. He didn't come out for the second half. So I give him a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10 for
Greenwood.
All right. So, Davey, what about our striker, which is obviously Mikel Antonio?
Yeah, he did okay today. Obviously, we mentioned earlier, Kieran did earlier, when he pulled out wide and helped create the first goal. My gripe with Antonio, I definitely think we need a striker. I think, and this is my personal opinion, I think he's getting a little bit complacent. I think he needs more of a challenge to think that we know he's just signed a new contract, and I'm not suggesting that he doesn't deserve his place in the team, but I just think he's got a little bit complacent, and he needs a bigger challenge from somebody coming in or to push him along. And I say that because watching him, he's a big, strong guy, and yet he's falling over half the time. Balls are bouncing off him some of the times. Weren't happening at the start of the season. So I just think, he needs a boot up or size 9 up his backside to say, well, look, come on, we need more from you. You know? So, because when you look at Bowen, Vlasic today, they keep the ball a lot better than he does. And he's arguably stronger than him.
Yeah.
I gave him a 8 out of 10, though, having said that.
Yeah.
He's slaughtered him, gives him an 8.
He's probably got Antonio in the penthouse with him. Antonio's going to bring him a drink. Like, there you go. There you go, Davido.
Some little doggies to do.
Yeah. Kieran, what about you for Antonio today?
Antonio, yeah, he's a hard one to sort of mark, isn't he? Because there's flashes in there, like, to me, setting up that goal, pulling that wide. I think that's the tactic Moyes was using. Even when we broke for the second goal, he was straight out to the wing. Straight out the wing to receive that ball from Fornals. And then you've got midfielders coming through the middle. And I think this is a ploy, and he's doing what Moyes is telling him. You know, this isn't him just want to be a winger. I'm sure he'd love to stay in the middle non-stop. You know, that's what he loves doing now, isn't it, being a striker. But it's a tactic West Ham used, and he done it pretty well. What I did do my head in, the amount of little passes that he gave away and lost the ball in silly, where we were really on the front foot. And he was frustrating. But still, his effort was there. I think his effort's there, and I think he's got an assist for that second goal, and he's basically a pre-assist for the first goal. So, I think he's worthy of an 8 too.
Bloody hell. These two, bashed him and they gave him an 8. Right, listen, we're going to get...
Times, you know?
Yeah, he is.
These didn't give him a 6.5 now. So but I'm trying to remember the good bits that outweighed the bad bits. And,
right, and the good thing is we've got Stuart. He's going to have another perspective because he's looking at more the problems he calls them. But we will get to these comments, Stuart. There's some good ones here and some interesting ones, and there's only a few. So we'll let Stuart talk, and then we will get to these comments. So to stay with us, please. Stuart, what about you and Antonio today?
It's a handful. It's a handful. It's Antonio. Our players couldn't deal with him. Llorente struggled with him. As I said, Hadji struggled with him. It's just such a handful, and it's quicker than you think, isn't it? It's pretty. I think it's pretty quick.
He is quick. I don't think he always uses it to his full potential, but he is quick though. He is quick.
Yeah, and he can use that strength to get away from players. But like David says, he does go down. He did go down a bit too much today. You know what I mean? He did go down, and he didn't need to. He didn't need to. You know what I mean? He could have just fended up our players with his finger, and we wouldn't have got nowhere near him. So for that, but what I'm not saying he's a bad player. Far from it. Definitely not. He's a player where other teams don't want to play against.
Yeah.
And I'd give him an 8 out of 10.
So you've all given him an 8. That's good, man.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8 out of 10.
Right, there's some interest in right. So this one is obviously this is the best comment ever. I've got to say, Titch is fire in them glasses. Obviously, thank you. There's a funny one here. Max says, has the video had his head polished recently? And James Bong, and then we're going to get to Epic's one. James says, Antonio's beast mode, he gets an 8. Right, now, James says, on another channel, Epic, sorry. Someone said Antonio gets criticism because he's black, and then followed on with, like, he's treated unfairly. Now, Kieran has said something very similar when he didn't say that, but I'm saying, he said, look, Rice taking his shots, and that if that was Diop or Masuaku. So, we're sitting here, we're talking, it's been put forth. Does any of you think that would be, some people's angle? It is a racial thing, or,
I don't
know. Can I jump in first?
I'm going to say, Epic has said somebody else said that, so he's not saying. He's just saying, "Oh, somebody said it." So no, we're here now. We're just,
I didn't hear the comment, but I don't think so. From what I have seen of Antonio, I mean, my criticism is just like of him because I rate him fairly highly, and it's the same with Diop. Now, if I didn't rate him like somebody like Fredericks, I don't really criticize him because I think he's doing as good as we can get out of him. Now, players like Diop, Antonio, Lanzini at times, I will hammer them if they're not good. Rice, because these players should be playing at a higher level. And if they're not, then I'll be more harder on them than I would say, as I just suggested, players of Fredericks and them. But I don't think he gets a raw deal, Antonio. Not in my eyes, anyway. I think he's gone a little bit cold. He hasn't scored as many goals as he on, but he's still putting in performances for the team. He's still assisting and helping the team. He's still occasionally holding the ball and linking play. So he's not gone down to say. I mean, if he was really bad, I'd have rated him like a 5 or 6 today, even in a good team performance. But no, he's still putting a good performance for the team.
All right, so we'll put this out to 2 white guys, obviously. What do you think? Any criticism aimed at Antonio there's an undertone of a racial undertone, or is it purely, in your opinion, on just his performances?
I'd like to think not. Jesus, I'd like to think not. I think no, I don't think so. There might be an odd one. There's always a fucking odd one who's fucked in the head. If you're a West Ham supporter, right, I don't give a shit who's on that fucking. I don't give a fuck we come from Mars. If he's doing a job for the team, he's doing a job for the team. I remember sitting in the stands in the 70s cheering on Clyde Best. So to be fucking slagging these players off, in 2022, to think that he's shit because he's black. I'd like to think no one's got that fact and attitude. If they have, they can fuck off. Right? It's as simple as that. No, I think you should criticise every player, regardless of who they are, even if they're French or Italian or fucking Argentinian. It doesn't matter. If they're doing a job for your team, they're doing a job for your team. I think people just have this. They've made up their minds, and we've seen it on other channels, haven't we? They've made up their minds about a player like Vlasic. Has had it recently. They've made up their minds about Vlasic. He's no good. He's shit, and they've stood by that. And it don't matter what he does. They still want to see the negatives in it because this confirmation bias of theirs comes into their fucking head, and they won't let it go. They won't go. Fuck no, he was brilliant today, or he had a good game. They do it with Masuaku and they do it with Diop. And Vlasic is in that boat. Now, the sensible West Ham fans have always said, no, give him time. And now we're reaping the rewards with Vlasic a bit. He's starting to look better and better. And it doesn't matter whether he costs 30 million. That's not his problem. That's not our problem. It's whether Moyes can get a good tune out of him. And he's starting to get it, slowly but surely. So, yeah, and I do believe it's just more about people want to be right about, they made a stance about a player, and that's it. And the perfect example of that, Titch, is when we watched Palace and West Ham. And Masuaku come on at half-time for young Johnson because he got booked, we think. Yeah, but Johnson was having a hard time against Ayew. Masuaku stopped Ayew in that game. He put in more tackles in half an hour than anyone else in the game. He stopped him playing that much. They switched Ayew over to the other side of the pitch. They brought out Aliti on, who looked fire, by the way.
Yep.
Them 2 goals come from that side of the pitch. Neither of them goals had anything to do with Masuaku.
Exactly.
Anything to do with him at all. It was a brilliant ball in by Aliti that the boy got on the end of it and scored. What's his name? Utah. Edward. And then the second one was a free kick that was
from
an absolute piece as well from his left foot. And I see that Aliti scored another cracker yesterday with his left foot. Off the post.
Yeah.
Right. But yet, after that game, people were levelling criticism at Masuaku because the 2 goals came from that side. Bollocks.
No.
I actually watched the game back, right? I had the luxury of watching it back and watched him and watched that 45 minutes he played. He had a bloody good game, and no one gave it credit for it. No one.
Yep.
So
and
there you go. That's what it's about. So
before Stuart, exactly. No, you're right. And the thing is, before Stuart, as he gives his say, I did say, and even when Masuaku got a yellow for the team, if he don't drag him back and then he goes on to score or cut it back, everyone's gonna. Why didn't you just bring him down and get a yellow? You understand? But then when he gets a yellow, it's like, why are you getting a like he can't do no right, and that's why I'm such a big fan of Masuaku, because like I said, I'm very much conscious of the underdog and all of that. So I'm a fan of his, not as a left back so much.
We know he's failings, Pitch. He's not the best left wing or a left back in the world, but he is good at times. He is good.
Exactly.
I just want to give him credit when he is good and give him stick when he is bad. But people just want to give him stick all the time.
All the time. Right. I will just clarify that Epic, he's just somebody else said it and he's just asked our opinion. So that's not his views or anything. Right. And then we'll get to the comments after. So, Stuart, you probably forgot the question. The question was, do you think Antonio gets a lot of this criticism where there may be a racial element on some parts and that's why they sort of are at him?
Well, you'd like to think in 21st century we're better educated than that, to be honest. I mean, I live in Bradford. It's capital of curries, so we've got Indians, Sikhs, Czechoslovakians, Kosovans, black, white, pink, green, yellow dots on. My kids have been to school as a mixed school where there's been whites, Asians, Muslims, Christians, Catholics, Jews, and it hasn't done them any harm. And I think if there's people out there who are narrow-minded enough to think that there is still, that there's room in this place for racism, they need to be re-educated. They need to be re-educated. It's done Ali no harm. It's done my other sons no harm. It's them days should be long gone behind us. They should even be considered now. You know what I mean? It shouldn't even be considered in this day and age. We're not a third world country where we're poor and where they don't know any different or where they haven't been educated. We've had some really good. We've had in England. We've always had good schools, private or affordable schools, free schools. So to me, there's no room for it. I think like what Kieran said, some players they already got it in their. Some fans have already got it in their heads that they don't like a player they're never going to have their mind change for it. Don't want to say they're racist. It just
Yeah,
is
yeah.
to say that they're just set in their ways. You know,
Yep.
they don't want to be. They don't want to listen to anyone else because nobody likes to be proven wrong.
Yep. Right, let's get to the comments and then we'll get to the subs. Leeds obviously made more subs. Right, so the mascot making it known that this live stream is not a family friendly. Yes, it is. Max, he's having a go at you, Kieran. He said you're making this unfamily friendly. I disagree. Fuck, you'd have to be a saddo if you voted for a skin colour. Exactly. Let me see this. But in all seriousness, it is true that it seems that to be the case with Pepe and sometimes even Saka. It doesn't matter how well he plays; they just want to keep slamming him for whatever he does. See, and this is, Arsenal and certain players over there. Lawrence says, Giza, if you think Masso is a good defender, I'd sell you a lake in the desert. Listen, Lawrence, we all said he's not the best defender, but that day he actually had an exceptional defensive game against Palace, and he probably helped us get the victory. The same way he helped us when we beat Chelsea. And, everybody, it's a fluke, and I'm saying, no, man, he meant that. Like, like when he does something spectacular, it's a fluke, you understand? Like,
that's pushing it a bit, bitch. That's pushing it.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's the same bias. They're never going to, even Moyes is like, no, like, the video about to fall asleep any second. Lawrence Watkins.
That big smile. The big smile of Matthew Watkins' face sort of gave him away a bit.
So you're an Oasis fan then, he said laughing at. Right, let's go. We can get through the subs quickly. So I'll just ask you a player, Stuart, and you can just give me a player because Leeds made 5, right?
Yep.
So your subs were, I'll give you the first one. Rafinha, what would you give him out of 10?
5. I just don't think he was as good as what he can be. 5.
Stuart Dallas.
I give him a 6.
6 out of 10. 60 minutes. Adam Forshaw came on.
Adam Forshaw. I give Adam Forshaw a 5.
And Cody Drama came on for the concussed Junior Firpo.
I give him a 5.5.
5.5. And this guy here is, I didn't know he was from the Netherlands. Serencio Somerville. Yeah, well, whatever his first name. He came on 78 minutes, and he looked tasty to me.
He only played 12 minutes, but he did well. I give him a 7. Fill him 12 minutes because he did look pretty good. He looked pretty dangerous going forward. So
he did look 7. Good. Right, for the West Ham ones, Dave and Kieran, on 76 minutes, Fornals came on for Lanzini. What would you give him as a rating?
Yeah, it's good to see him back actually in coming on. I gave him a 6. Didn't do nothing exceptional. Actually made the pass, I think, into Antonio? We got a second. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, I gave him a 6. Steady, came on Sunday. We know he's a good player. Yeah, we need him going forward in the team. So yeah, I gave him a 6 out of 10.
What about you, Kieran, for Fornals?
Yeah, I'd say for what he did on there, a 6. Like, he had a few minutes. Good to see him back. We want to get him back into the swing of things so we got more options. So yeah, a nice 6. Done all right.
Stuart, for Fornals?
Same 6.
6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And the other two is too late. Masuaku came on 88 and Yarmolenko came on 90 plus 5.
Masuaku give him 1. I give him 1.
He came on the pitch and he blew the whistle.
Who's that? Yarmolenko?
Yeah, he didn't even get a touch on the ball.
Epic made another good point. He said some people are still saying Antonio isn't a striker. Now, what would anybody in this stream say to that?
It's a difficult one. Like, he plays in a position. I mean, nowadays football's changed, isn't it? So it's difficult to pigeonhole players and say you're this and that and you're this. So if you say, is he a pure striker? I would say no. I would agree with that. But then striker, if we can say striker, it's got so many permutations to it. It does a good role for West Ham. He can score goals, yes. He can play wide. He could interlink with players. He's got good speed, good athleticism. So he's good in the air. So yeah, he's got all the attributes that a striker needs. But is he a pure striker? I would agree. No, I don't think he's a pure striker. But playing him as a striker, I don't think it's a detriment to West Ham. I think, as we've seen with our position in the league and the performances of Antonio, He's done really well. We have to tip our hat to him, to be fair.
Kieran.
Yeah,
And then we
thanks,
get to
Davey.
yeah. Same, yeah.
Davey nailed it on the head, mate. Is he a pure striker? No, he's not. But the game has changed so much now. You even watch Man City, don't they? I think they play about 8 false nines. Man City.
And then the strikers they do have, they turn them into wingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Jesus at least, yeah.
I don't know who the striker is at Man City anymore. I don't know if Jesus is playing midfield, wing. I don't know.
He plays on the wing now.
Moyes is a different kettle of fish to a lot of managers, mate. He doesn't. I don't think he's ever relied on one striker to get him the goals. He expects them goals to come from all over. And Antonio's a big part of that at West Ham at the moment. Like I said, he keeps pulling out the wing and people criticise him for it. But this is what Moyes wants him to do. Pull defenders out wide and then get that ball inside. And so you'll see the wraparound from Vlasic and Bowen, or whether it's Lanzini or Fornals when he's playing. So, yeah, he's doing a job that Moyes wants him to do. Is he going to get you 20 goals a season? No, he's not. But at the moment, he's hitting the 10 plus, which is a vast improvement to what he was. And then he's linking up so Bowen's scoring, right, and Lanzini's scoring. And then you've got to have our defenders chime in. And then you have a Ben Rama popped him a few goals. So it's being shared about, and that's what helps him. Do we need a striker, like Davey said earlier, to challenge for his position? Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You've seen, compliment him.
I think Fabianski has been far better this season because he's had Areola up his clacker. Right? He's been a better keeper for it. And I think we might get that extra 10% out of Antonio if we put a good striker on the bench behind him.
100% agree.
All right. Stuart, is Antonio a striker?
Right. It's right. Before I say this, don't shoot me. Let me finish what I'm going to say. Right. Antonio reminds me so much of Patrick Bamford. Not because of his size, but because of what Bamford does. Bamford goes out to the wings. Bamford drags 2 players with him, frees up the space down the middle. That's why that's why we badly need him back. He's only scored 1 goal in 7 as Bamford. So, but he goes out to the wing as well, just like Antonio does. But, we don't sell about that. In Bamford's supposed to be the striker. So, we're saying, the West Ham fans are saying he's going out to wing because he's a winger. But Bamford's a striker, but he goes out to wing and he's a striker. So what I'm trying to say is, if it all depends on how Moyes wants to play him. A bit like Marcel Bielsa at Leeds. If he wasn't happy with Bamford doing what Bamford did, Bielsa, he wouldn't play him the game after. And I'm assuming it's same for Moyes. If Moyes were fed up of Moyes just going out to win all the time without being Antonio going out to win without being told, he would have dropped him.
Exactly, Stuart. Exactly that.
So,
and you've got to remember, our 2 goals came tonight because of that. Antonio pulled out wide twice, pinged balls in. 2 of them goals, both goals come from that. You know, and people still criticise him for being out in the wing too much. It don't make sense.
But it's a converted striker. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's been converted into a striker. So he's still got the title of striker, hasn't it? So to me, he's a striker. He's not an out-and-out striker, but he's still a striker.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the video. Remember to water those plants before you go to sleep. James Bong has given 4 nails a 7. Lawrence gave 4 nails a 6.9. Not enough time. Lawrence says Antonio is a winger. 1 second. Not a striker, says Lawrence. And Antonio not bad for a fullback. Yeah, the fact that he was playing fullback maybe 4 seasons ago, and now he's playing striker is you got to give him credit where it's due. Is that he's adapted his game, and to do that in the Premier League on the job is not easy. It's not easy at all. So.
And I think that fullback one is a bit unfair because he wasn't a fullback. I think Pellegrini played him there. Was it Pellegrini?
Nah, he's tongue in cheek from James.
No, before that, wasn't it? It was never a right back. They just used him to fill in.
Yeah. Was that
Do you
Stuart?
know when Antonio first come to West Ham, he didn't have the best of times, did he, when he first come to West Ham?
Not initially, no.
When he first come to West Ham, as a winner, he didn't have the best of times anyway. So, he's converted from something where he were really struggling with what was his original position into doing what he does for the team now. I think he gives so much to that team. It's untrue, honestly. I think you're lucky to have Antonio.
Lawrence says we need a man standing in the middle for crosses. That is a winger you described. And Giza is not a negative comment, but not playing a striker position. But he's not playing a striker position. This is from Lawrence.
I've explained what he does, and he's doing it under instruction. Like Stuart said,
I agree.
He ain't doing that. He ain't going out there because he just feels like it and he's a winger. He's doing it because Moyes wants him to fucking do it. Otherwise, he'd be hooked.
Yeah.
If he just stood in the middle and didn't make that movement, Moyes would be fucking get off.
And Kieran, what I will say to the people that says we need somebody to stay in the middle, look at Sebastian Haller. Now, he was a player that didn't want to move around, and they got rid of him.
He got rid of him. There you go.
And everybody's saying, no, we jumped the gun with him.
Tactics. He didn't suit Moyes' tactics. And all Haller is, and that's what he is. He's a front man, give him the ball, put the ball in the air, he wins headers, he lays the ball back, he gets assists and goals. And he's showing that at Ajax because they play with like 3 up front, or 2 up front. And it suits him. Moyes didn't want that. I don't want that. He would have kicked Andy Carroll out of it. He would have kicked Andy Carroll out of the team.
Yeah, Carroll wouldn't have played.
No good to me. I want a guy that moves around the front line.
This is what Davy's laughing at. Lawrence Watkins, I'm sure the video could put in a shift. His head has been carved for head.
Do you know what the funny thing is, right? If I could have run, right, I tell you what, I could play football now, right? I'm good enough, right? But listen, on a serious note, I remember my son getting signed for Fulham at 15, and I said to the parents, if I was the age of these kids now, I'd be a pro player. And they said, how could you say that? I'm telling you. I said, look at the training they get. Look at what they're doing. I said, I could do that with my eyes. So yeah, it's
nice pitches.
I think you've got the talent, you could do it. I would make it. I was that age.
They're not playing on mud anymore, are they?
Exactly. That's what I just said. Bloody carpet pitches. Right. We got Freshfield in the house. Bullshit. Keep someone in the middle. Says Freshfielder, thank you for joining. We've probably got about 5 minutes, but thank you for tuning in, Freshie. Right, so before we wrap it up, I would like to say, Stuart, as always, and I'm sure my other fellow Hammers will agree, you've been a great guest, and you came prepared, and even when I'm throwing you on the spot with the West Ham, you adapted, and I like to have guests on here, and we can all sort of communicate, and I think you've been once again a great guest on this show tonight.
Interchangeable.
Yeah. Davey, any final words? If you want to read Max's comment, what did he say this time?
Did you see that? Yeah, Max. Yeah, actually, Max, I think you should hold us for the last time. That's because you played so badly. You remember? No, listen. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Yeah, Stuart, Kieran, obviously yourself. You're doing a fantastic job, mate, with the channel. Yeah, and
we are.
Yeah.
Giza, the mascot, Davey. Oh yeah, you've seen his mascot, ain't you? Yeah. What Kieran? Final thoughts? Just I don't know, whatever you want to say, really.
No, just it was a confident win, wasn't it? It was a confident win, mate. I didn't think Leeds really offered anything up front. I don't remember Ariola making a save that's worthy of talking about. So that's where Leeds are lacking, and I hope they do get Bamford back soon. I hope they kick on in the league, apart from next weekend, obviously. But I do because I don't want to see Leeds in that battle of relegation. I want them to get away from that and finish, around 13, 14. That's what I'd like to see for them. And when they play us next week, I think they'll be desperate to get something out of that game. I'm not sure if you'll see a different Leeds or not, but they will be desperate. They need to get points. I want to see Burnley, Norwich and Watford go down and get rid of them because they're all shite and they do my head in. Burnley have been
Exactly.
hanging on for years. If it
Bye-bye,
weren't for
Burnley.
Dyche, they would have gone years ago. They're hanging on for years. I want to get rid of that club. Bring someone in with a bit more ambition than Burnley. So, because I think Leeds last year were a breath of fresh air to the Premier League.
They were.
They were exciting to watch. Really exciting. And it's such a shame that second season syndrome and injuries have kicked in this year. And they're struggling. But I'm hoping they come back, and I hope they survive with, 5 or 6 games to spare, so they're not panicking at the end.
Yep. Right, Lawrence says great show, Chit. Lawrence, thank you. Great support of the channel, and I'm going to do something, Lawrence, where me and you can come on air and we can have a chat and we can hear you tell us about Antonio as a winger. We'll do something soon, Lawrence. James Bong says, yeah, I bet there's some people who were calling Haller the lamppost but are now criticising Antonio for being drawn out wide. The guy is unique and box office. Good point, James. Oh, sorry. He gave Moyes a 9. We can quickly, if you want. Just so, I don't want to drag it on. Moyes, what you not giving Moyes today, and what you giving Bielsa, Stuart?
Bielsa, I've got to give it. I can't give him anything else than an 8 because it's all he had. He couldn't make any change. You know what I mean? He couldn't. It's not like he had 2 teams to pick from. He had that one, and that's all he had to hand.
And he used all his subs as well, so he tried to get people minutes and all that. So what about you two for Moyes for today?
I'll give Moyes. I would agree with that. I'll give him a 9. I mean, I think if you look at the treatment of his players, he's got Vlasic, kept him back, dipped him in from the start originally when he came to West Ham, and now he's got him playing because obviously we've lost Ben Rama to the AFCON. But and he put in, as we say, virtual man of the match performance. So credit to Moyes. Give him a 9 today.
9. Kieran?
Yeah, I was really surprised that Moyes played the team he did. That's the first shock I got of the day, was that team. I didn't think it'd go anywhere near as strong as that. I really didn't. And if we'd picked up 3 injuries today, I might be giving him a 5. Because, Norwich game is important. It's only 3 days' time. So, but he didn't. Everything worked out. So I'll give him an 8.
8 out of 10. Right, Lawrence says TDT and Davey respect. I think he's trying to wind Kieran up like, I'll leave you out, Kieran. All love, obviously. Moyes 9, by the way. 9 from Lawrence. And Arsenal TV says, who would be the better gaffer, Titch or DeVito? Both. You just you just have joint management. Management.
Well, David's got a better pitch to train on behind him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. In his back garden or whatever that is. But you know what we're going to do now? We will let our special guest, and he is a special guest, we'll let you sign out. And before he does, Disabled Team. Yeah, Father and Son channel, Leeds United, good people. And everybody, if you haven't already, you know what to do. Go over there and subscribe. But thank you, Lawrence. We will leave it for the main man for today's show to sign out, and then we'll end it, you lot. So thank you for everyone that's tuned in. Go on, Stuart, take it away.
So you want me to say that? Well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching Hammers Fans United. If you haven't already subscribed to Joe, if you haven't subscribed, what you're doing, and also hit that like bell, hit that like button. It doesn't cost out. Hit that like button. It's a great group of lads. Love coming on. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. Everybody, thank you. I'm going to end it now. Thank you. We've caught all the comments, and we will see you soon. One thing to say, as West Ham fans, come on, you Lions.
Have it.
Let's have it.